How would you like to receive $25,000 to help you with the down payment to buy a house? If that doesn't sound good enough, how about an additional $15,000 in the form of a refundable tax credit, once again, when you buy a house? Sounds pretty good, right? Let's talk through all the details. Hey everybody, welcome and thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't done so already, or if you happen to be new here, please make sure to hit the subscribe button right down below the video, as I am your one and only daily advocate right here on YouTube. Thank you so much for your support. Let's talk through all the details. So these are two more proposals out on the table right now, once again, to offer people free money. If you've been watching the channel for any length of time now, or if you happen to be new, this is what we talk about every single day. All of these different programs that are out there right now offering free money through all of these different programs. It's amazing. These are two more that we're talking about right now. This is massive. In fact, these two programs could be worth literally tens of thousands of dollars for those people who fall into the category and who are eligible to buy these houses. Now again, this would be about 4.37 million people who would potentially be eligible. So it's not like 10 people are eligible. A massive amount of people would be eligible. Like I said, 4.37 million people would be potentially eligible for this money. So let's talk through both of these proposals one at a time here. All right, so proposal number one offers up to $25,000 of cash in the form of down payment assistance if you are a first-generation home buyer, or if you are somebody who previously owned a home and you lost it due to financial distress or foreclosure. Okay, sounds pretty good. So first-time home buyer or first-generation home buyer. So again, you might be thinking, okay, sounds too good to be true. This is me. What is the catch? Well, again, it's just like every program. There's always somewhat of a catch, and there's always some caveat wrapped around it, right? Well, it's actually not that big of a deal. Let's talk through it a little bit further. So this is basically a 5-year program. But again, first of all, you would need to qualify based on your income and other qualifications. But of course, we can talk about that also. But basically, it's a 5-year program. So provided you're eligible, you would go to the closing table, and it sounds like you would get up to $25,000 that the government would help you out with your down payment. However, here's the 5-year program. So basically, they give you, let's just say $25,000 or $20,000, whatever it happens to be, they give you an amount to put down on this house. Well, over this 5-year program, basically every year that you live in the house, they reduce the amount that you would owe them back if you happen to move by 20%. So let's talk through this a little bit further because I know it's kind of confusing. Let's say you live in the house for 1 year. Well, of the, say, $25,000 that they gave you, you would need to repay them 80% back. Okay, what if I live in the house for 5 years? You got it. You do not need to pay them back nothing, $0. You owe them absolutely nothing. After you live in the home for 5 years, that grant that they gave you is completely wiped off the table, and they just gave you all that free money assistance totally free. You do not need to pay it back after 5 years. However, once again, there's another caveat, and that is you need to live in the house within 1 year after purchase of the property. Well, that's probably not that big of a deal for most people because realistically, if somebody's buying a house, they're probably going to be moving into it within a few weeks, maybe a month or two or whatever, within a relatively short amount of time. But basically, they're saying, hey, if you buy a house with this program, and you're not living in the property within 12 months after you close on it, guess what? Sorry, but we want all of our money back. But again, that's probably not going to be a big deal for most people. According to the statistics, they're basically saying that 10% of the renters in this country, which is roughly 4.37 million people, would be eligible for this program. That's a massive amount of people. I mean, we're not talking about like 100 people, 1,000 people, 10,000 people. We're talking about 4.37 million people who could be eligible for this $25,000 of down payment assistance. That's huge. Could you imagine what the real estate market would be doing then if all of a sudden we had a 4.37 million more people looking for houses? If you think the real estate market is on fire now, man, it would be like blazing. You know what I mean? That'd be crazy. But either way, this is a cool program to offer those first-time home buyers or first-generation home buyers into a home. Pretty cool stuff. Let's talk about the second bill that is on the table right now, once again, to offer these first-time home buyers additional money, up to $15,000 of cash money. Good stuff. This is cool. So here's what it is. Basically, the second program would offer up to $15,000 toward that first home in the form of a refundable tax credit. So how this one works is they would be willing to give you in the form of a refundable tax credit, which I'll explain here in just a second, which is 10% of the purchase price of the home. So here's how that works. Let's say you buy a house for $10,000. 10% would be $10,000. So you'd be eligible to get 10% or $10,000 back in the form of a refundable tax credit. Pretty cool. Let's say the house was $150,000. Again, 10% would be $15,000 that you could get back in the form of a refundable tax credit. However, let's say the house is $200,000. 10% would technically be $20,000. However, the cap is $15,000. So even if the house is $200,000 or anything more than $150,000, the cap is still $15,000 in the form of a refundable tax credit. Now, what do I mean by a refundable tax credit? Basically, what this means is that when you go to file your tax return and you owe $0 in taxes, first off, congratulations. There's nothing better than feeling like you owe Uncle Sam absolutely nothing. That's the best feeling in the world. But either way, that's beside the point. Let's say you go to file your tax return. You owe $0 in taxes. Well, guess what? A refundable tax credit means even if you owe $0 in taxes, you still get that money back in the form of a refundable. Of course, it's refundable. In the form of a refund. Sorry. In the form of a refund, you would still get that money back. Pretty cool, right? So even if you owe them $0 in taxes when you file your tax return and you have a refundable tax credit of $15,000, guess what you get? Yeah, that's right. A check from Uncle Sam, 15 G's going in your pocket. Sounds pretty awesome, right? So this could be two potential programs that could literally offer tens of thousands of dollars for first-generation home buyers. Massive. I mean, that is massive and literally like influential. I mean, seriously, imagine that. $25,000 at the closing table. Another $15,000 when you go to file your tax return. Not bad. I want some of that. You know what I mean? I mean, that sounds pretty cool. So either way, these are some pretty cool programs. Just two more proposals on the table right now to help people out and once again, give more free money. If you've been watching me for any length of time now, you know that I talk about free money, all these programs all the time. There's so much free money out there right now. It is absolutely ridiculous how much money is available out there. You just got to know what these programs are and how to take advantage of them. All perfectly legal, by the way. I would never do anything illegal, and I would obviously never tell you to do anything illegal. I'm telling you all the stuff that's available basically to you. So that's why I want to bring you back with all these videos, because you just honestly never know what's out there, which is why I do the research on your behalf. I condense it all down into these short videos, and I do whatever I can to help you out. So cool stuff. I will keep you posted with all this as we get more information, but either way, tens of thousands of dollars on the table for first-generation home buyers. So if you're interested in buying a house, wow, you might want to watch this one very closely because this could literally be big dough in your pocket. And I'm not talking like a muffin or a bagel in your pocket. I'm talking the green stuff. These guys right here. I like to keep that on my table because, you know, it's always nice to reach out on the table and just kind of touch some dough sometimes. I don't know. I kind of like it. So anyway, it sits there on my desk all the time. I like to fondle it every now and then. It's just kind of something I enjoy doing. Anyway, enough out of me. All right, I'll see you later. Make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video, and I will see you again in the next video. Thank you so much, everybody.